Hello everyone, myself Saraswati, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Science and Engineering, MITM, Mysore. Today I will be discussing the two topics which are nothing but the contents of project report and the project formulation or formulation of project report. Let us have a look into the first topic, that is the contents of project report. A good project report should contain all the information and the contents which is needed by the stakeholders. The stakeholders are like owners of the organization, investor of the organization, government agencies, shareholders and so on. So, a good project report should contain all the information and the contents needed by all these type of stakeholders. It should contain the following. First, it should have the general information. So, here the general information that is related to the project profile and the project details or the description of the project needs to be specified under the general information. So, in general we can say that, so here information regarding the project it should have the general information related with the product profile and the details of the product. The next one is the promoter. So, here promoter is nothing but the one who starts up the entrepreneur or the business sector. The one who start up the enterprise or the business sector is going to be called as the promoter. Here the information regarding the promoter needs to be specified. Say for example, name of the promoter, qualification of the promoter, work experience or project experience if any needs to be specified here under the description promoter. Then the third one is location. So, here exact location where the project is going to be carried out needs to be specified, and also whether the location has been owned by the owner or whether it has been taken for the lease or rent. All these information needs to be specified under the title called as location. Then the fourth one is land and in order to run the business, the entrepreneur is in need of land. So, where exactly they have purchased or owning a land, what is the land area? So, construction of the land area, type of construction, estimation of exact cost for the construction, detailed plan about the layout and all kind of information needs to be specified. So, here how much built up area has been made by the entrepreneur in order to run the organization, along with if it is a production company, so how much plant area, that is where exactly the operation, that is production of the product is going to be carried out, is going to be referred as the plant. So, what is the built up plant area, complete details related with the land and the building they have to provide here. Then next one is plant and machinery. As I said now, a plant is nothing but where the production process is going to be carried out. So here what type of plant they are owning or using, whether they have taken it for lease or they are owning by themselves, right? So what are the different types of machineries or the equipments they are having in the plant, what is its usage capacity, what could be the estimated cost of each machinery and the equipments they will be using in the production area. All those kind of information needs to be specified under the heading plant and machinery. So the next one is production process. Here a description related with the production needs to be specified along with the process chart they are going to use while doing the production. Then production development, what are the different types of alternative technologies they are going to make use of in their production area also needs to be mentioned here. All these different types of production charts followed by the technological know-how, followed by the production development and so on needs to be mentioned under the heading production process. Next one, that is seventh one, is utilities. Under the utilities, they have to mention how much of water requirement is there for the organization in order to carry out its day-to-day operations, how much power supply they are in need of, what is the availability of power supply they will be having, and also what is the source of obtaining the power, right? If they are in need of any kind of a steam or compressed air requirements, they need to specify all these kind of information along with the estimate about the cost required in order to get the water or power supply or steam or compressed air requirements. They have to estimate how much cost they are in need of in order to have all these kind of facilities for their plant, and also from which particular source they are obtaining all these type of requirements they are in need of in order to run their business, right? So next is 8.1. So what kind of transport facilities they are in need of for the organization, that is mode of transportation, mode of communication, like whether they are going to make use of the fax or internet facility or telex facility, like that. So everything they have to mention with the heading called as transport facilities and communication facilities needed for the organization. So here next one is the raw materials. Here they have to specify the different types of raw materials which are required for doing the or for carrying out the production process, and also how much quantity and quality of raw materials they are in need of, what are the source of requirement, and how they are going to get the raw materials from different suppliers. In any case, if the supplier is not able to supply the raw materials required by the organization, in that particular situation, what are the alternative arrangements they have made needs to be specified under the requirements of raw materials. So the next one is manpower. In order to carry out the different types of tasks within the organization, any organization which is going to do any kind of goods production or giving service to the consumer, they are in need of manpower. So manpower is nothing but the employees needed in order to carry out the different tasks in the organization. So how many employees are needed who will be having different types of skills, unskilled employees and also skilled as well as semi-skilled employees are in need of, right? So if any type of training is going to be given to any particular set of employees, what could be the cost in order to provide the training for all those employees, and what could be the salary that is going to be given to all the employees who might be skilled employees or unskilled or semi-skilled employees of the organization needs to be specified under this particular heading, manpower. So henceforth manpower is nothing but the number of employees required in order to carry out different tasks within the organization. So this needs to be specified under the heading manpower. So moving further, we have the next one. So here, what are the different types of product that organization is going to manufacture, along with what is the product mix they are going to make, what is the estimated sales of the product which is going to be developed within the organization, and also what are the competitions and the capacities they are going to mention here. Also, what are the standards they are having for each and every product which is going to be developed within the organization has to be specified here. The complete details regarding the product which is going to be developed within the organization, product mix and the standards they are going to follow needs to be specified in this products. So next is market. So what is this market is all about? When the product has been developed by the manufacturer or the organization who is going to generate the different types of products, it has to sell its product to the end user. Who are all the target end users for the organization's product needs to be specified here, and how they are going to distribute in the market, whether they are going to use the distribution channel as local, national or international needs to be specified here, and the different types of trade practices which are going to be followed by the organization also needs to be mentioned under this, and also the promotion devices along with the proposed market research also needs to be specified in this market heading, right? So next one is requirement of working capital. Requirement of working capital is nothing but the finance or the amount or the money needed in order to perform the day-to-day operations within the organization. So here, what is the amount or the finance or the money required for working within the organization, how or what is the source of working capital the organization is going to obtain, that is from where the organization is going to get the finance required in order to perform the day-to-day operation needs to be specified here, right? So and what is the nature and up to what extent the credit facility can be obtained by the organization, whether they are going to take the debt from the financial institutions or from the bank. Everything needs to be specified here, that is how much they are in need of that is they are in need of financial assistance in order to run the day-to-day operations of the business sector. So this is what they have to mention here. And the next one is about the requirement of funds. So here the organization is to mention the requirements of funds in order to purchase the fixed assets like land, machineries, construction of some building in order to run the organization, construction of the plant in order to do the production process and all, how much money they are in need of. So this is called as the fixed asset. When it comes to operational finance, so here they have to estimate about the different types of machineries they are in need of, how much money they have invested in order to purchase the machineries or the equipments which are needed in order to do the production process. So overall, how much money in order to start up and also carry out the production process within the organization, how much finance is needed by the organization has to be specified here, right. So here the working capital and cost of setting up the project also needs to be specified here. Then they have to show the break-even analysis, in the sense that when they are going to do the production up to about certain units, how much they can sell and how much they may not be able to sell the product to the consumers, right. So means they have to set a point where if they are going to sell above that particular point, they are going to obtain the profit. If it is below that particular point they have set, then it is nothing but the loss they are going to have. And also they need to mention the schedule of implementation. First and foremost is they are in need of some time in order to make the complete arrangement in order to start up the business sector, and also in order to start up the production they have to set up the plant, machineries, equipment required, and also they have to obtain the different types of raw materials, followed by the manpower and so on. How much time they are needed in order to obtain all the facilities needed to carry out the production process have to be mentioned, and also to start up the project and also to end up the project, how much time they are in need of. That is, schedule of implementing the project needs to be specified by the entrepreneur under the contents of project report. So this is all about the contents of project report. So here they have to provide the general information regarding the product they are going to develop, and also the promoter information, followed by many of these like now utilities, transportation, raw materials, manpower, products, market requirements of working capital, along with the funds they are in need of in order to run the or start up the business sector or the enterprise, and also they have to show how much time they are in need of in order to implement the project. So this is all about the contents of project report. Let us have a look into the next topic, that is project formulation, or you can also call it as formulation of project report. So what is this project formulation is all about? It is a systematic development of project idea so that the entrepreneur has to make the investment decision. That is, it is a systematic development of the project idea so as to help the entrepreneur in order to make an investment decision for the project he or she is going to take up as a business. So it involves step-by-step investigation and development of project. A general set of information is given in the project report. Let us have a look into each one of them in detail. The first one is general information. Under this general information, we have sub-units. When the entrepreneur want to formulate the project report, under the general information, he or she has to give the details regarding the biodata of the promoter. Promoter is nothing but the one who is going to start the enterprise or the business sector. So what kind of information about the promoter needs to be specified under the formulation of project report? So here they need to specify their names, qualification, work experience and project experience, if any, needs to be mentioned here, right? If the business sector is going to be run in partnership, then the details related to the partners also specified under the heading biodata of the promoter, right? So here after that they have to also provide the information related with the industry. So here they have to give the details about analysis of industry to which the project belongs, whether it is a steel production company or the textile production company and so on. So here they have to specify the past performance of the organization, also what is the present status of the organization, its organization, followed by its problems, if any, needs to be specified under the industry profile. So moving further, we have constitution and organization. So here the constitution and organizational structure of the enterprise, so here it needs to be included, right? In case of partnership firm, so here they have to specify the registration with the registrar, copy of, that is the certificates from the Directorate of Industries or the district industry center. They have to obtain the certificate in order to run the business sector. So that kind of information is going to be provided here. Then product details. So under this product details, they have to specify the utilities of the product, that is the usefulness of the product the company is going to produce, along with the range of different products which is going to be developed by the organization and the different types of product design that we are using, right? And also the advantages that is going to be offered by the organization product over its substitutes, if any, in the market, needs to be specified or given under the product details. So next one is the project description. So here the brief description regarding the project covering some of the following aspect which I will be writing right now should be made in the project report. So here initially they have to provide the information regarding the site they are owning to run the business sector, that is location of the unit, whether it has been owned by the owner of the enterprise or whether they have taken it for lease or for rent, they have to specify. So here which particular industrial area they are having the site, along with no objection certificate also they should provide if the organization has been set up in residential areas. Then they have to mention the physical infrastructure. That is the building they are using in order to carry out the operation of the business sector. If it is producing a product or developing a product, then what is the plant area that has been built and utilized needs to be mentioned under the physical infrastructure of the organization. Then followed by the raw materials. Here they need to mention what are the different types of raw materials they are in need of in order to carry out the production process in order to generate a new product to the society, and what is the quantity and quality of the raw material they are in need of, who are the suppliers who is going to supply the required raw materials, and what could be the cost estimated for the supply in case if they are going to find a situation where the supplier which they have chosen by the organization is not able to give up the required raw materials in time, what are the alternatives they might use also needs to be mentioned under this raw material. Then here next is skilled labor. You already know about this skilled labor. So here the availability of the skilled labor for the organization in order to carry out the task needs to be mentioned. Here they have to mention the training which is going to be given to the skilled laborers in order to carry out the project, and what could be the cost that is going to be incurred in order to provide the training to the employees or the laborers also needs to be specified here. Then next one is utilities. So here this includes the different types of utilities, so where we can divide it into power, fuel and water. So here they have to specify, that is in the report they have to specify how much power supply they are in need of, how much load has been sanctioned, and also what is the availability of the power supply in the organization needs to be specified very clearly under the utilities of power. Then when it comes to fuel, so here requirement of different types of fuel items such as the coal, oil, gas and so on, state of their availability and the source of supply needs to be mentioned here. And also when it comes to water, the source of water, quantity and quality of water, everything needs to be specified here. Then the next one is pollution control. So in case the organization is going to generate any kind of pollution, in that particular situation they have to mention the scope of dumps followed by some sewage system or the sewage treatment plant they are using, and so on needs to be mentioned under this pollution control. So the last one is communication. Communication and transportation facilities. So here the mode of transport and communication facilities they are going to be using within the organization needs to be specified. When it comes to communication, whether they are using the telephone or the fax or the internet facility, they have to specify here. Then requirement of transportation, that is needed kind of transportation, and everything needs to be specified under the transportation facility. So then so next one under the project description includes the production process. So here they have to mention how much time they are in need of to convert the raw material into a finished product needs to be specified here under the production process which they are going to carry out in the organization. Then machinery and equipments. So what are the different types of machineries and equipments which is going to be used in the production process needs to be specified. What is the capacity of each machinery and what is the cost of the machinery, life of the machinery or the equipments which they will be using in the organization needs to be specified. And also they have to specify the capacity of the plant. The installed licensed capacity of the plant needs to be specified along with the shift should also be mentioned under this capacity of plant. They also specify the current technology they are using in the organization in order to carry out the operation, arrangements which has been made in order to acquire the technology, right? So it should be mentioned in the business plan. So along with that, other common facilities apart from all this, they have to mention some of the other common facilities that they are using within the organization. That is availability of the facilities like machine shops or the workshops or welding shops, and also the electrical repair shops if they are having within the organization, etc., are to be mentioned in the project report. Then research and development. So here a mention should be made regarding the research and development activities which is going to be carried out within the organization. That is proposed research and developmental activities which are going to be undertaken in future by the organization needs to be specified under research and development heading, right? Then the third one is market potential. So the third one is market potential. So while preparing a project report, some of the following aspects related to the market potential needs to be specified. Here the organization has to specify the demand and supply position of the product. So here the in the report, they have to specify or state the total expected or the total expected demand for the company's product they are having in the market needs to be specified, and also they need to specify present supply position along with what is the gap between the demand and the supply needs to be specified, and how they are going to fill up the gap also needs to be mentioned in the report, project report. Then next one is expected price for the product needs to be realized, should also be mentioned in the project report. How much money they are going to quote for the product developed by the organization. So that needs to be specified under this expected price. Then next one is market strategy, that is marketing strategy. So here what are the different types of arrangements the organization has been made in order to sell the company's product, right? It should be clearly stated in the project report, right? The different types of arrangements in order to sell the company's product needs to be specified under marketing strategy. Then after sales service. So this is very important for any organization. Once they are going to sell the product to the consumer, if there is any problem that is finding out by any of the consumer, so they have to attend for it. So here they have to provide the after sales service also for some kind of products. So here, depending upon the nature of product the company is going to give to the consumer, provisions needs to be made to provide the after sales services to the needy one, that is to the end users or the consumer, should be stated in the project report. The next one is capital costs. What is this capital costs and the sources of finance is all about? So here, how much money the organization is in need of in order to set up the firm or the enterprise, that is in order to purchase the land, construct the building, construct the plant, in order to purchase the machineries and the equipments, in order to hire the employees and give the salary to them. So how much capital they are in need of is nothing but the capital costs. Source of finance, whether the business entrepreneur is going to invest or part of the money he or she is going to invest, and some part has been taken from the financial organizations like banks or any private financial assistance sector, whether they have taken debt. So all these kind of information needs to be specified under capital costs and source. What is the source of obtaining the finance in order to fulfill the requirements of the organization in order to carry out different types of tasks needs to be mentioned here. And the next one is assessment of working capital. Here they have to provide the information as how much money they are in need of in order to carry out the day-to-day operations within the organization. They have to do the estimation depending upon the type of work they will be carrying out as a day-to-day operations within the organization, and accordingly they have to estimate the financial requirements they are having, and they have to mention it in the project report, right? So it is going to reduce the objections from any particular banker's side if they are going to show the exact amount which is needed in order to perform the day-to-day operations, then the bankers usually not going to reject why to give the financial assistance to any of the entrepreneur to run their business, right? And the next one is other financial aspects. Means the amount which are needed in order to have a look into the cost of a production. So project or the product profits or the loss which the organization is going to incur, expected sales of the products generated or produced by the organization, revenues which they are expecting, or any kind of loss from the product needs to be included under other financial aspects. So the next one is economical and social variables. So here like the different types of pollution if the organization is going to make due to the production of some of the product, any damage that is going to be made by the organization to the society. So here they have to mention how they are going to control the damage, like pollution control, what is the cost that are going to be made by the organization, and so on needs to be specified under the economic and social variables. Along with that, some of the socio-economic benefits should also be mentioned in the project report or formulation of project report. So here they have to specify how much employment they have created to the locals or to the society. The organization has to provide the information regarding how much employment has been generated by setting up the organization in that particular area, right? So that needs to be specified, and also they have to specify the import substitution if they are developing a product where that particular product has been imported to the market. If they are developing the substitution for that particular import, that needs to be specified in the project report. And also ancillaries means whether they have given the business in order by purchasing some of the products which are needed to develop the complete product, whether they are purchasing any of the smaller equipment or the machineries or some part which is needed for the development of the finished product from any small sectors, right? So ancillaries, whether they are helping out any kind of ancillary units by purchasing some of the product which is needed for the development by the organization, they have to specify here. And also whether they have taken any initiative in order to export the product developed locally in to sell it in the other countries needs to be mentioned here. And local resource utilization. What are the different types of local resource they have utilized in order to run the organization? Maybe it can be the people by giving the opportunity to join the business sector, and also the different types of resources like water, power supply and so on. If they have taken any in order to run the organization, they have to mention the different types of resources they have utilized which is available in the local area where the organization has been set up. And also the last one is development of the area Development of area is nothing but where the organization has been established, whether they have made any kind of improvement in the health of the people who will be staying in that particular area where the organization has been set up, or whether they have provided any kind of education or occupation to the people in the surrounding area, and so on, needs to be specified under the heading development of area, right. So, development of area. Let us have a look into the last one, that is project implementation. So, project implementation is the last step. So, here at the end of the project report, details of schedule of implementation of the project needs to be specified, where various tasks are going to be included in order to implement the project. So, every bit of details needs to be covered under the project implementation. So, in order to complete the project, there are many different activities or the task which is going to be carried out. So, how much time they are needed in order to complete each activity or the task within the project, and also to complete the complete project, how much time does the organization is in need of, needs to be specified under the project implementation. So, these are the 8 different aspects which we have to consider while preparing the project report or formulating the project report. I will stop at this point of time. Thank you.